cloud. But, so, how's everybody doing? Did anybody come with specific questions? I'm going to make sure that I hear them now, or while they're at the top of your head, like, I came because I wanted to know this one thing. Troy sent me messages. Yeah. Alex, anything today?
No, yeah, you answered my notes.
Okay, perfect. So if you have any questions, butt in. Like this, the workshop portion of this that I'm going to go through, I'm going to screen share and walk through how to use some of these programs. Some of them are only like phone-based, so they're only on an app on your phone. So I'll show some images, and then I can walk around and kind of show you how it's done on the phone a little bit more, which is a little bit unfortunate for those that are online, but I think you'll get the gist. But if you have questions and we're kind of in the middle of something, still maybe either write it down or make sure you ask it, and I'll take a note so that we can make sure it gets addressed. So now I'm going to share. Okay, so first off, the social media apps that I have listed here: Canva, Hootsuite, WordSwag, Boomerang, this promo, Slidely. Have anybody used those before?
Hootsuite.
Hootsuite?
Canva a little.
Okay.
Top two.
Top two? Okay. And how do you feel with those ones? Like, so I got it kind of under control. I just hate doing social media altogether. Okay. So the goal of today is to kind of give you a little bit of an overview, maybe give you some tips that are going to help you be more effective and efficient with doing it, and to be a tool to answer any questions that you might have that other people probably have. So at the end of the day, it's about having the right tools to do what you need to do so you can do them effectively and efficiently. So with social media, one of the tools, which I am going to do a workshop when John comes back. I've already let him know that I'm doing this workshop, and he just has to plug it into his training schedule for next month. But what it is it's going to be a content planning workshop, and literally a workshop. You'll come, we'll talk about content planning, you'll get some handouts, and we'll work through the whole month with you. So then you can we've taught you how to use the Hootsuite, Canva, so you can create content, but now how do you do it on the mass scale? We're going to do a workshop just specifically on that because it can take a long time. So these are tools so that you can get that work done. So big thing is you're either spending money or you're spending time. So some people are going to choose to spend the money after a little while of learning this stuff, and they might just say, yeah, no, I'm going to pay somebody else to do this. I'm going to get my husband to do this. I'm going to get my friend to do it. Like it's not in their wheelhouse, or their time, they can make more money doing something else. So it's either time or money. So these are tools so that you can kind of see like, oh, I could get on this really quickly. I get it. It's fun. Some people with social media, that's what it is that they really enjoy creating the content, or they really enjoy writing. And then it all comes together and it goes quickly. For other people, it can be a bit of a challenge. So it can be agonizing, sitting in front of the computer, trying to figure out what to write, how to post this, how to learn the app. But sometimes some of these tools I'm going to show you, they have great training, even more in depth. So if you have a specific question about doing one specific thing, Canva has like a whole little, they call it, I'll show you, but it's almost like a little mini university just on Canva. So we'll go over the basics and a little bit more about how to get things done with design. Oh, they call it design school. So it can be really helpful. So Canva you can get for free, or it can be $12.95 a month, or if you pay it all at one shot, all at one shot, it can be as low as $10 a month. Big thing about Canva is that they actually have templates. So if you're struggling with the design portion of things, they have lots of templates to help you to make it really efficient. You can, and I'll show you how to put your own brand colors in. So like David's team is kind of black, gray, white. Those teal. So then you can put those colors straight into it. Like the one I'm going to be using the offices, so it's red and blue. Fun. So you can have those colors in there. You can have your typefaces all set and programmed so that you're not having to search for them every time. Or remember, what color teal internet version is it? So that every time you use it, it's the same teal. Not a slightly yellower or a slightly bluer, something like that. So when you first get into Canva, I'm going to flip the screen in a second so I can actually work through it. But you have your create your design. You have all your designs are kept right here. You have a template, photos, so you can upload your own photos. This is another amazing thing about Canva. You can upload as many photos as you want, but you also have access to thousands and thousands and thousands. I personally, the $12.95 is worth it to get the pro version because you don't have to pay for. They have some that photos you still have to pay for, but the access to free good stock photography really is a lot lower with the free version. You get a few free this or that, but and I'll show you examples of typing in things like coffee date. You might get 2 or 3 photos that are free that you can use, but with the pro version, you'll get tons, and it's really nice. Like, not just 2 tall, blonde, white ladies, like different ethnicities, different heights, body shapes. It's really, really nice, and it's good diversity. So I am going to switch here and go to... So, oops. Okay, whatever. We're in my personal side. So this is actually good because I don't pay for the pro version because the office has a pro version. So you can we'll be able to see some of the differences. So first thing is, okay, everybody.
So if the office has a pro version, do they have reduced, like a special?
No, we just pay for it as like a business paying for it. When I talk about Planoly, Planoly has a Remax special, kind of a Remax one. So when I get to that, we'll show the benefits and the differences between the two.
And how does Canva compare with Remax Design Center?
I don't use Remax Design Center, so I'm not too sure. Canva is really plug and play. So when we create a design, so the templates, any kind of, so the Remax one is probably like the open house thing that I see everywhere. It's the exact same template.
You can design brochures.
Okay.
You can do anything you want.
They probably, but they're probably like from my limited selection of templates.
Yes, Design Center is like, they have quite a few, but it's very like Remax focused. Like what you're posting is like all Remax. So
Okay.
if you wanted to do like a
Put your own
motivational Monday or something like that, like they don't have something like that on there. This is just more of like the creative side
Okay.
where you can expand, where Design Center is very like real estate focused.
Okay, so that would be, this would be, so Canva's kind of, so other tools like everybody's heard of Photoshop. So Canva's like the easy Photoshop or the easy InDesign because it makes it so that you can use things that are templated. And it's made to, okay, so I'm going to create a design here. We're going to do an Instagram post. One of the things that Remax Design probably doesn't have is all of these little, oh man, of course. But now I can go into the Remax one. So there's lots of different elements you can pick. So when we're creating a design, if you want to have an open house sign, it gives you lots and lots of different graphics. So, and lots of these are with your program, like with the monthly membership. So it gives you lots of things. So that if we wanted to create a little like, oh, we're having an open house.
So is this paid membership?
This is the paid membership one. So these things here, where it says free,
Okay.
most of them on the paid side are free. Unless they're really premium graphics, then you might have to pay a bonus and you can purchase extra credits. But the free, you just get so many more with the paid version. And then the free ones, you might find more, but they're buried. So like you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling because you can't filter it. That's kind of a downside with this. Like you can, when you have the paid one, you can filter it with free. And all of those come to the top, but with the unpaid one, you can't filter it because they want you to buy extra or higher end premium ones. So when we're creating it, so with this, like we're gonna do a little open house thing. So we can have a template up here and use photos that are stock photos. So we're doing a little open house thing. Maybe we're not feeling very creative today. So I wanna delete this. All you do is click on it and click delete. I'm not feeling creative, so we're gonna use a template. So they have templates like this. So Halloween's coming up. Maybe we're gonna do a open house that's maybe in a like in Summerside, they have that street that has all the really crazy like decorations.
Grand Boulevard.
Yeah, and so maybe you're gonna have an open house the weekend of Halloween, and so you really want to make it Halloween themed. So then we might go. The wording on here, you can change it. It's really easy to now write open house and to change the content, but we have something that was already kind of what we were looking for.
So this is Canva on your computer.
On my computer.
And so it's much, would you do it always most of the time on your computer?
Unless you're in a pinch, always do it on the computer. Or it's nice to do it on the computer, and if you have to finish the details, you can't remember the address, if it was the suite number or something like that, you have it all ready to go, and then you meet your client and you say, perfect, we're gonna post this right now. And you put the last little bit in, you tag them in the post sitting there with them. Because you have that ability, and that is gonna help to show them that you're really on it and you're working fast for them. So then, and maybe we want to change some images. So, and please keep asking me questions like this because it's helpful for everyone. So for example, now we want to put open house. And all of these, like this nice door. So maybe we put this picture in the background instead or something like that. So you can really play with it. Big things to know. You can change colors really easily. So this section here is called your brand colors. So I'm actually going to go back home because let's say this is where you have your brand kit.
So we would have chosen David's colors.
David's teal.
In there.
We add here. So is it that teal? Is it that green?
It's 41E for DE.
Okay. 41.
E for DE.
Okay, so that is his teal. So now it's going to be saved in there, and I can do the same thing with their typefaces. And you could pick typefaces. So maybe you don't have a type, you use a different typeface every single time you do something. You're like, I think Arial, no, I'm going to use Gill Sans today. I'm going to use this. Pick one typeface and use it all the time. Ideally pick 2 or 3. Okay, where am I? So this is called the serif typeface, so with the little edges, and this is a sans serif, so it has no little ridges. And then this is kind of like a complementary one, so something that's a little bit more fun. So these are the ones that John chose for the Remax. You can put your logo in. You can have a few different logos so that it'll always pull up if you're doing a document or something. And you can add different palettes. So if you have, so I'm going to use you guys as an example. So if when your team members are doing something, they also add in a pink. So, because it's the women on the team, and then maybe a different color if it's the dudes on the team or something like that. You might have these bonus colors or something like that. So then you have extra palettes, and then everybody can use it. So for example, when I'm doing work for real estate agents from the brokerage, I can actually put in their stuff here, which I should do and haven't done it yet. I have a weird memory for weird numbers like that too.
I use it every day. So.
Yeah.
Are there certain fonts that are optimized for the web?
Everything that's in Canva is very good. Don't use fonts that are too swirly because they'll be really hard to read. A lot of the ones, and I'll show some here. So we go, we had to switch back and forth from our design. So now we go back to all of our designs. You can see that it last things. This is my kid. How cute is he? So when you open it back up, so maybe you use this, you love this design and you want it to become a template, click make a copy. It'll open it and create it as a new file. So I would suggest if you're doing client work, so you're putting all of your open houses, you could have one file and just click edit and then change your open house listing and it's all in the same place. But if maybe, or you could do it this other way. So you have everything under your MLS number, for instance. So maybe you say MLS number, Instagram photo 1, MLS number, Instagram photo 2. So then you're keeping everything. When you save it to the computer, you can keep it organized so it's all in one file. It just depends on how people's brains work in their filing systems. Everybody's a little bit different, but I'm going to just edit this one. You can make, you can make things more than one at a time. So if you have 5 open houses at different properties, but this is the same template you wanted to use, you can now click this and we'll just change the address. We'll change maybe the image in the back because it's not, it's still Halloween weekend, but maybe we're going to change this to a different color, to the teal. So something like that. So I'm just going to quickly go through some of these things at the top. So this is where you put your coded number. So if you don't know, if you use the same color all the time, but you don't know what the code is, or maybe you have it printed somewhere, you can take a picture of that. You can Google what is the color of this image, and you can upload that image to a website and click it, and it'll tell you the internet code for it. So then if you're ever lost, like, I don't know what, I designed this, I lost that designer 10 years ago, I don't know what my color is, but I really love it. It's a really simple way to come back and get that color. Does anybody have questions about color codes? Is that confusing language? Okay. So in this image right now, this had 2 colors. So it was overlaying, so those were that right there. But we can crop this. So it gives you tools to crop different things. So cropping just means that you're going to chop it up. So now I've chopped that. So what happened was this is a template. So it does make things a little bit more rigid than creating it from scratch. Then maybe you want to flip things like that. You flipped it over. To duplicate, you want this same image and you want to pull it up here. Position. This is an important one, especially in Canva. Your positions, you can move them backwards, 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 and now these images are in front of it. So yeah. So you're right now, I've clicked off of everything. The only things I can do is to duplicate this page. It's not editing right now. When it's editing, the editing tools are at the top. So you need to click the elements that you're looking for. And so now we're going to click this one again. So we want to now make this more transparent. So we're going to cut that down. And then this is a link. So if you want, you can link different, the websites. So it can become a live document. So in the PowerPoint later, I have just like it says demo, and you can click that and it brings right to the website. So you can do that with things that are on the internet depending on where they're being used. That might be too much for this particular topic. And then you can just trash it. Like, I don't like that piece there. We're going to delete that. Delete element, delete the whole group. Let's delete the whole group. So now we only have spiders. So maybe that's how you would want to keep all of your open houses the same. They have different elements of that same Halloween open house vibe for the weekend. So, but let's say we wanted to start this from scratch. We want to start one from scratch because I'm going to show you how to use some other items. So, annoying thing about Canva, it opens in a different window every single time you do a project, which is a little bit frustrating because then you just can keep having multiple open tabs. So this is your blank document. On the side here, we have our templates, which we just played with. Some are great, some aren't. At the top, you can write the word plan, and it'll, or, is it popping up? And it could give you different templates for different kind of planning or business cards. And it's going to pull up different things that might be good. They might not be, but I would definitely look. Just put words in that you think might be helpful. And you can also do that in here. So if you put business cards, it's going to give you the right dimensions. And that's probably one of the biggest, most important things about Canva is everything's properly sized. So typical, normal business cards are a certain size. And so then we can just use, this is the template for that. You like it, but we want to change the picture in the back to be a house. We can do that really easily.
What if you wanted your picture on that business card? Could you do that?
Definitely. So, Lori, we're going to put your picture on this business card.
There you go. There she is.
I'm going to be.
So now, yeah, so I can just delete this picture from the back. I can click on these items, and now I want to make them teal because Lori today is going to be
Orange.
orange. Okay, there we go.
Not that orange. The other orange.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pull this up. This one right here?
Yes.
Oh, or this one. This one.
No, the one on the left.
Okay, there we go. So, and then we can already start making this. The template was a 2-page template. It's only, I didn't select both of them. So now I want to select the second one. Oh, sorry. And then I needed to just click a second item. So this was the first one, and this is the back.
Okay.
So we can change this stuff quite easily and add and delete when they're templates. But when we're starting it on our own, we are going to just ask questions for 1 second because I just realized I didn't plug in my computer. And we're at 14%, and that just wouldn't be very cool for the people that aren't on, that are online. Okay. There we go. You're not going to get cut off. Somebody has a question.
Can't hear.
Oh, that was from this morning when I muted to make sure that the people that were here early weren't saying anything bad about anybody else or that anybody else heard it. I made sure it was muted. Okay. So this annoying thing. Our untitled brand new document. So we're going to put a picture. So photos here are photos that are stock. Uploads are photos that we are that we upload. Uploads that we upload. So then we can just take and choose. So for example, these, if it was a special event or you can do things like you can upload all of these new stickers. downside with these ones when I uploaded them is that they had a background. So right now I can change the background of this image, and this isn't transparent. So when you're using them online, they're transparent. So I would actually, if I designed something and I knew I wanted to use a sticker right here in the corner, I would leave space for it and use it online, because those are typically, a lot of these are GIFs, so they move. So it makes them more dynamic of a post, especially in Insta stories. So then we have our elements. So elements can be anything like the quote symbols, open house sign, or charts and graphs. So if you're doing, for a lot of people, you do market update reports. So maybe you want to use images to do things like that. So you can change all the data here on the sidebar. So we're going to change this 55 or enter it, and things can change. So you can play around with how the chart looks. You can change the colors, because again, it'll show you these two different colors because this was a template. Creating stuff like this from scratch can be a lot of work. And then doing it if you're not really good in Excel, trying to do things in Excel to make sure everything lines up. But you know that you got the report already. Somebody else did a report up, they mailed it out, but you want to brand it as your own information. And you want to update your clients with your branding, so that when they say, so it looks like the market's gone up for condos, should I sell my condo now? Because they're getting the information from you, and they trust you. So repackaging information can be really important, because your clients do trust you. And if you trust that information, then you're doing them a favor, right? Am I going too fast? Okay. So we're going to delete this element because we didn't like it. We wanted to use a pie. So again, you can rename these things and really create a really nice dynamic image that works with your, so we're, oh man, we got to make it nice and bright. Okay. So then we want to add text. So when we add text, they have these nice little things, header, subheader, the body text. You can change the text really easily. Am I stretching it? With this ball, with these round balls, that just automatically stretches it. You don't have to put a number in the top. So if you know you want it to be the size of that, easy peasy, just use the little balls on the side. But if you are like, oh, I just want it a little bit smaller, you can highlight the whole thing, and maybe you want to make this 98. So I just wanted it a smidge smaller, so you can adjust things like that. And now we want to make our typeface match. We want it something a little bit fun. So we can scroll through. So these are all the different typefaces. So some of these are typefaces that can only be used when you have so they have this little crown beside it. So those are with the premium version. So I can use these because we have the premium version. So we pick that. I'm not trying to design this right now, so don't judge me. If we want to change our background, we can have some more different images, and it'll automatically do it. So you can also change this sizing. So if you didn't like the placement, you wanted more wavies, you can move them like that. So once this little compassy looking thing, navigator is on there, that means that you can move things. When it looks like that, a regular arrow, it's a selecting tool, so it's just going to select it for you. Then we have our uploads, so we can add more things. We want that there. And then you can break things down into folders of different designs, your logo. So that makes it easy to find that and have it ready to go. And then you can just, once you click on it, and it has the moving tool, you can move it around really easily. And just like with the type, when you click on the ball and it has this one, you can make things smaller or bigger. So that is kind of the basics of Canva. Things that you want to make sure. You can push your beautiful art, this beautiful art we can put on the internet right now if we wanted to. We're going to say no, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So over here, you have a lot of options. So you can click share, and you can have it share directly to somebody with their email. So if you want to send your the sheet, your market update to all of your clients, or to your graphic designer who does that, or your assistant, you put their email in right there. If you want to just download it to your computer, it'll have each file type will have an automatic style that it downloads in. So business cards, you're likely going to send those to a printer. So it's going to save it in a high quality multi-page document, PDF, that is ready to go to your printer. This is in itself an amazing tool, because printers are always like, it needs to have this much bleeds, it needs this, it needs that. When they get this, it should be ready to go. They shouldn't need anything else from you. But maybe you want it saved as high resolution pings or JPEG, so that you can take those files, and maybe you have it as almost like a button on your website, or if you like the image and you want the image to be exactly the same on your business cards as it is on your website, and here and here and here and here. So you can save it in all these different formats. Then
Just if you're gonna post it on any social media, it has to be either in a ping or a JPEG, because Facebook will not let you post a PDF.
correct.
Yeah. You're saving.
Yeah. And with the Facebook, like when you're selecting the stuff on here, when you're deciding what you're going to do, they've already, if you select, like, I want to create a Facebook post, still has that in here. It has it all, like it says Facebook cover. It has the dimensions already made for exactly what you're doing. So you don't have to figure out, because literally, I'm going to go back to here. The fall, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. So these files here, these ones here, they're all different sizes. So it's the same image, but this is the LinkedIn banner, this is the Twitter banner, and this was the Facebook banner. So they fit perfectly exactly the way you want to have it, without having to tweak it or have the design cut off here.
How do you know that those are what they are? What you're saying?
Because I titled them LinkedIn, Twitter, and then I knew that. But when we're selecting it for design, you click create design, and on this part here, it'll say Twitter header. The nice thing with this, I didn't do these 3 times. So
Sarah, is that just for the sizing? Is that
yeah,
for the specific ones?
exactly. So the sizing is very specific for each platform, which is probably the #1 thing that Canva makes your life really easy about. And I'll show you how I did this. So I did this one first, and I'm going to say edit. Oh, wait. So I'm going to, yeah, no, that was right. Okay. So here, this was my first one. I want to resize this. So again, this is a tool that you can only get with the professional version. With the other the free version, you have to do it separately. Like you have to actually go and redo it. I can click resize. It asks me what I want to do. So maybe a Facebook post, but if I write LinkedIn banner, copy and resize. It's ready to go. Now I just have to resave it again, and it looks the same. The dimensions are right. I might tweak it. So LinkedIn, was this all the way across? So this was all the way across, this piece here. So I have to tweak things a little bit to make them look consistent. So I just have to take this. Now I'm going to stretch it across, and maybe I want, this is a little tight here, so I'm going to bring this down a smidgen, make this a little wider, drop this down. There. Now I'm happy, and I'm going to save it. So there's little things that make Canva easy and to save you time. The resizing for different platforms is one of them. We have a question. How do I do this? Okay, there we go. Does anybody have questions about Canva?
What does it not do?
If you are, I don't know, I use this more now than InDesign. Like I built the program that, what was I gonna say? My PowerPoint. I built it in a template for InDesign or for presentations, and it made things really easy. It was a nice, simple platform. Then I brought it over into PowerPoint, and it was ready to go. What wouldn't it be good for? Well, they just started to add in elements of video, which is nice. It is a growing platform, but it doesn't focus a lot on video. Video is very high on reshares. People watch them. Video is outdoing photos, and photos outdo any kind of just words. So if you are just posting, here's my new listing with a link to it. If there's no photo involved, people are going to scroll past it. They're going to miss it, and they're not even going to pay attention. If there's a video, even if it's 10 or 15 seconds that says, hey, I have a new listing with a link, you're going to get more traction. It's kind of a bit of a breakdown on that. Okay.
Do you schedule posts on here, or would you save it and then put it into like a Hootsuite?
It'll share direct, but it doesn't schedule. Good question. And I don't think that it doesn't, does it share to Hootsuite? So it shares to MailChimp, shares to Tumblr, shares to Slack. So if you are using Slack with an assistant or something like that, you can share it to all of these different platforms, which can be really nice and save you time. Okay.
What's MailChimp? I've seen it before.
Oh, MailChimp is, I was just talking to somebody about that earlier today. MailChimp is, an email software.
Oh.
So it's like a CRM. You can keep information in it. People can sign up for newsletters and things like that. It is free up to 10,000 people. So 100% use it. It's really easy. Simple to plug and play. Like you can set up templates in it. I can do a whole thing on that. I've been using MailChimp for like ever. And you can, again, brand things. So you would do the design for different elements in your newsletter in here, save them, and then bring them into your MailChimp to finalize. So this fall banner could be the fall banner on your newsletter, and then you can do things from there. Yeah. I'm going to compare this now to that's supposed to say Photify. Photify. It's an app. This is an app.
That's the new Remix.
This is from, Remix is partnered with them, so it's a partnership. So I haven't dived super deep into this, but I'm going to show you some of the features that make it nice and easy to use if you're using lots of Remix type elements in your design. I found that because you can get this for $4 a month with your Remix ID. So when you'll put in your realtor code number.
Is it American $4?
All of these prices are going to be American. At the end, I break it down.
Oh.
But yeah, typically anything that says like $10.99 a month, it is $10.99 American a month. They might not put USD. Kind of annoying, but that's a pretty good price. It has similar features to Canva. I found from my quick review of it, Canva has a lot more stock images. It has a lot more simple usability. It's a lot more intuitive. So if you think, oh, if I click this, can I move? Oh, look, I can move it. So I'll do a little bit of a demo on that. One of the things I did like a lot about this is the 20% text. So if you have a photo on Facebook in an ad, so if you didn't come to Shane's Facebook ad workshop last week, you might want to watch that one. Was it recorded?
Yes.
Yeah, no? Yeah. He's saying no, she's saying yes.
It's not available.
Oh, you didn't record it?
Oh, it's because it was
Oh.
Tom Ferry thing, right? Yeah.
It was terrible. But
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So in that, it talked about ads, and we can talk about that at a different time or do that workshop again. But a big thing with Facebook ads is that it has to be less than 20% text. So if you write, open house, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, blah, 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 you are going to be at the bottom of the pile. They might even cancel your ad because it's not going to get enough engagement for it to be worthwhile. So and they say it has to have less than 20% text. It tells you where you're at with your text.
So that's Facebook that would cancel the ad.
That would be
And then like, how would you know? Like with
in your ad manager,
okay.
they'll say it wasn't approved. So you'll get a message in your notifier saying that your ad wasn't approved. Plus you can review that, and you could say, like, I had an ad. I put something for sale in the marketplace, and it said it wasn't approved because it was like health related. It was a cookbook, like a keto cookbook. I'm like, I'm not doing this keto business. And but I put another cookbook that was like similar, like Whole30. Yeah, that's what I had, Whole30 and keto. I was like, I'm just gonna eat clean. No big deal. And so I put them on, and it approved one and didn't approve another. So sometimes you can just say, can you recheck this? And then it was fine. Other times it might say, sorry, still too much text. So like Facebook has a lot of like power over what they're showing. And if you can stay within their rules for things like the 20%, it saves you a lot of time and it'll push you higher up on the algorithms. So this is the wrong photo. Anyway, we're gonna just go to the page and check out there. So sorry, so many different tabs. My husband was like, you're not having that many tabs open, are you? I was like, no, I never have that many tabs open. Lies. I always have 1,000 tabs open. Okay, there we go. So it's this one. Why isn't it showing me? Share. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. So this is the back page where when you set up your account, this is the backside for Photify. And so then it just says, yeah, it's $4 a month. You get 90 days free when you test it out. So I set this up and I'm gonna test this out. So now it opens up a completely different window. So it is a different browser and it doesn't let it sit. It's like a portal. So it doesn't let it sit right in your user bar. So lots of stuff is similar. So you have text, you have artwork, and it's pulling things up through here. So lots of different words. So if you're doing images that are like the quote of the day, you can use these things. You're sending somebody a card that says happy anniversary. You can create all of that stuff yourself. And then you can also have it you can look things up. So family, sold. And it has all of these different, and these are kind of described as stickers when you're looking for something. So if you sent me an email and you said, I can't find a sticker in blah, blah, blah that's for this, I could go and look and say, oh, type in this, it might find it. I'll know what you're talking about. Okay, so we want this. Home sweet home. So again, we can stretch things really easily. It's a little bit different. There isn't 4 dots. There's just this one here. We can turn things really easily here. In Canva, it was a thing at the top that said rotate. You can delete it really easily. If you're wanting to be really careful, or you're not, I should say, if you're not really careful, you could accidentally delete this. I would have to go find it again. So there are more stickers. So if you want more of an artwork, so you're gonna put this little leafy thing.
Does the resolution still stay really good?
Yes.
Okay.
So because all of this stuff is designed for the web and it's designed for printing, what it's gonna do is when you're in the right canvas size, it's gonna work for that canvas. So it's not gonna make the file too big if it's only meant to be used on Instagram, or whatever template you're using it for. So there's photo editing. So you could bring in a photo. So you can, I had this, hold on, I don't like that. Upload photo is right here. So you can just upload an image. Maybe you want it from Instagram. I don't know which Instagram's locked in right now. So then what this is, so if you guys have never seen this before, lots of different programs will ask for authorization using Facebook and Instagram. So then you don't have to have another login, and you just click authorize, and it's actually gonna pull the content from there now. So I'm just gonna click cancel because it's already 10 to 11, so I have others we want to power through. So the big thing with this one, so again, so you can play with the saturation of the image, you can crop it. I think this one is better for if you have an image that you want to edit and you want to do it all in one place. So with Canva, editing just a photo isn't as easy. If you want to, like if you wanted to, here I can crop the image. I'm having to crop my image before I bring it into Canva, or if I wanted to like put a saturation on it or make it a warmer photo or a cooler photo. Once it gets into Canva, that's what I've got. So if I'm pasty in it, I can't help it in life, but I can't help it in the program. So but I could if I planned it ahead or brought it into this software, and I could brighten it up or play with the contrast. So, so right here, this is the big one, My Pro. So they partnered with Remax, and when I click that, it becomes a Remax station. So I have to say, I thought that they would have a lot more stuff. So here, this is just the top where it says Remax. So price reduced. This stuff is great. Some canned content, then you want to promote, they have signs, they have this stuff, the collection, they've the Remax stickers. So these are these ones. Teams, they don't have anything there for that yet. They don't have anything for Bouge because that's not here yet. So this is growing, but if you wanted a property sign, is that here? Yeah, okay. So you got different property signs. So there's stuff that's very Remax specific, which can be, there's a world map, hustle. I thought there'd be way more hustle stuff, I guess. So when it comes to the Remax, if you guys want to poke through this to see if what you're missing in your design stuff is the Remaxy kind of stuff, poke through this afterwards and see if you love it and if you want to spend the $4. And then the other thing would be with this, the bonus is the photo editing, which I think is a definitely an added value. From my, like I said, I didn't, okay, we got it. There's some features about it, like going back is a little iffy. But this is one of the big thing that I talked about was the bonus. Why is it not lighting up? Okay, there. So this, as I fill this in, so if I just start typing, okay, is it working? So there's why is this current coverage 0%? Why? Okay, I still have to fiddle with this a little bit more, but I think it has some really good features. That would be one of them. I got to tweak to see how it works. You can, but it has again things like how to do memes. So you can put a picture in here, write a thing at the top, write a thing at the bottom. Questions about this one, Shane?
Yeah, could you just steal the images up here, throw it into your Canva?
If you save them, probably I bet the stickers wouldn't save with a transparent background though. That said, if you're looking for Remax specific stuff, I'm in 3 different Remax creative groups, I think. And so you just search on Facebook, Remax Creative. People are sharing all sorts of stuff. Like I saw a beautiful open house sign-in sheet where it had great information, like what the questions that they were asking. So, and you can crowdsource information there. So you can also say, and it was interesting because the person posted it here, if anybody wants to use this. And then people said, I always add this in it. I always add this. So she reposted it and added in their feedback. So being a part of those groups can be really, really helpful. Facebook, yeah. So you just type in Remax Creative and you'll be able to find lots of great stuff there. Okay, so we are now talking about Hootsuite. Okay, so Hootsuite is a posting platform. So a few people have used Hootsuite. You guys use Hootsuite. You're familiar, a little bit familiar. So the big thing with social media, if you're doing it, you got to be consistent. You can't post today and then in 6 weeks and then wonder why nobody's following you. It just doesn't work like that. But Hootsuite, you can plan out your whole month in an afternoon if you want. And like at the beginning, there's a few people that came in afterwards, but I'm going to do a whole workshop on planning content so that people understand, one, the amount of work, but how also it can be really easy once you get the flow. Like one of my other clients, it's not a real estate agent, I powered through their stuff yesterday in 2 hours because I had a plan. And I wasn't sitting there being like, what should I post for Wednesday? What should I post for this day? I'd already figured all of that boring stuff out. And it was now, okay, I'm going to post, okay, today's tip of the day. Now I had to get a tip. Okay, now da-da-da. And I powered through and did 6 weeks worth of content in like 4 hours. Like I did I did a quick framework in Hootsuite as drafts, and then I finalized everything. So if I didn't get to the drafts, it was there. So then when I show up later to fill it in, what am I posting today isn't the question. I'm posting a tip. Okay, I have to fill in this draft. It's ready to go. Nice things about Hootsuite is, one, it's free if up to 10 users. After 10, you have to pay. 10 social media platforms. So for you guys, if you have Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, those are probably the 3 main ones that I would be worrying about. On one account, you're good with the free version. So use the free one. This is a super awesome tool. There's lots of other planning tools out there. So if you only use Instagram, you might want to use something like Later, because you can see your whole Instagram grid. If you're very particular about I want my colors to look right, I want it to be broken down like this, you might want something that's a little bit more visual for your planning. But Hootsuite is really good for setting up links, You can preview things, and we'll go through that. This is what it kind of looks like as a like kind of empty. So now we are going to walk through this. So far, do we have any questions while I'm logging in?
So Instagram, LinkedIn,
LinkedIn?
okay, and Twitter is what most.
Most of the time. I
And
use it.
Facebook.
And yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So this is the main page. So if you have it enrolled, this is what it'll look like. And then you have a dashboard. So in the dashboard here, we are, the nice part about Hootsuite is you also have analytics. So that was on the slide before. So you can have really good analytics to see, how are my posts doing? Is this post style worthwhile? Should I be going all the effort of making my quotes? Is there engagement? Are people seeing different things? So quick overview. So again, this is the free version. I pay for a version, but I do not pay. When I went to look, I was like, whoa, their price is way higher. I started using Hootsuite like 8 years ago, and I paid about $10 or $12 a month. So the price has gone up a lot for the professional. So it's really good for one person. It's a great deal for being free.
Where are you finding the free?
When you first log in, it should be free, or maybe it gives you 90 days. But we're not paying for this one because I went and looked on. This is John's account, and he's not paying for it. There's no billing link to it. So,
Only 30-day trial.
oh, that's a little bit annoying. But-
Back to phone number, please.
Yeah.
How do we
For,
log, we always go from our phones. Can you
for where? Sorry.
Fortify?
Fortify.
Oh,
Can
okay.
you log in from a computer like you did? Or how
Yeah.
do you do that? Where do you go?
What's
to
the website to get on that?
Portal.photify.com. Try that.
Yeah.
And then it should probably pop up your login information. And if that doesn't work, let me know, because I have an email that I can check
Got it,
afterwards.
thank you.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't really actually talk about that a bit. I'm gonna go back for a second. All of these. So Canva can be on your phone. The phone version, I did touch on that. I personally prefer working on Canva on the computer. I find that it's a lot easier to move things, especially the pictures that are in the background. Maybe I have fat fingers. I don't know. It's really tricky. Way easier on the computer. Photify. Have you guys like it on your phones?
I don't mind it. I've never used a new computer. But
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, like, versus it's a lot more user friendly on your phone than Canva is. Canva is like I can do a lot more on the computer than I can on Canva.
Yeah.
I use Canva if I'm like in a jam, like
Yeah.
on the hen day in traffic and I need to do a post, like then I'll do that. Like I don't recommend because that's an expensive ticket, but
Yeah.
but yeah, the phone is like strictly like
It's
last resort.
last resort. And that's what I've found. Like I've done it where I'm at an event and I'm doing social media for the event, and maybe it was really good content that is very current. Maybe I would do it on the phone then. Then what was the next thing I talked about was, this is it. So Hootsuite, we'll go back to that. So Hootsuite on the phone is good. Again, it's way better when it's on here. You get a ton more information. The app on the phone is mostly for just posting your content or pushing content out. So if you were trying to, if you set it up in here, so what we can do is, so there's different streams. So you can look at your whole social network in one spot with Hootsuite. So you can look at Instagram, see your last posts. I can add in messages in here. So I could actually communicate through the messenger in Hootsuite. You can have the River City Facebook page, so I can see what I last did, what the activity was, and again, I could have messages in here. So you add streams, and your streams can be, okay, I want it to be this, and then I want it to be my tweets. So it's Twitter. I select the profile, and then maybe I want a whole thing for every time somebody retweets me, I want to know. So then it will add that stream. So then you'll be able to move them across this way. So it's kind of a weird place to put that stream because I'm in my Facebook page. And then when you don't want that, because that's like, oh, I put that in the wrong spot, more options, you can delete this stream. So you can put you can have it be really all together, but it's also segmented. So then you can see the whole picture in one spot. So for us, this is John's account, and he oversees, or yes, because I do it now. He can go in here, but he also can post his own stuff from here. But he doesn't have his threads here because this is for the office for the most part. Does that make sense? Kind of. No?
I think if we had maybe a workshop, a focus workshop.
Just on Hootsuite.
Where it's hands-on.
Yes.
For, like, I don't know if we have to do a separate workshop on a separate day for each one. Maybe we can do 2 or 3 in one day and do a workshop on how to do some of this.
Yeah. So the workshop that I'm planning with the content would be about 3 hours because we would plug things right into Hootsuite. But I find if people don't kind of have an overview picture of everything, then they get a little bit like, I don't understand it at all. And then they're 5 steps behind in a workshop like that one. When we're actually hands-on, we kind of need a little bit of an overview. And then to understand the content side of it. So now, if I gave you guys a calendar that said, okay, we're going to post a tip of the day today, and for the week, we could go through and post it without having to teach this. So we'd be saving ourselves a bunch of time on how to work through or speaking the language. So if I said, go to your Instagram stream, for instance, you guys could do that on your computers. So that is something that I am going to do probably in the next, like I said, the first week or second week of October for sure. This is the most important place in Hootsuite is where you post your content. So this is really nice because you can just click, I want to post it at 4 p.m. You click, you write new post. And then this box will come up. So here you get to select which network you're going to use. You can put your type in here. And then we have your media. Why is this not scrolling?
Could you select multiple ones for the same thing, or is that not a good idea?
Multiple.
Could you select put Facebook?
Totally. You can.
And then put the same message.
You can. So my answer is totally. You can do that. Should you? No. Because different platforms, they react differently to different things. So putting tweets on hashtags on Facebook, you can put hashtags on Facebook, but having as many as you put in Instagram really looks bad. It's not helping you a ton. Most people don't search like that on Facebook. And then if you're putting things like, lifestyle in Facebook, it's not the same platform where people look that stuff up. They look up lifestyle on Instagram. So when you're picking your platform, you might have the same post, and then you can actually click once it's done. So I'm just going to exit out of that. So once it's done, so this post,
Also, I find you typically don't want to post the same things to the same platforms at the same time because, like in this day and age, people are following you on multiple platforms, and if you're posting the same thing at the same time, you become redundant, and people will just stop following you.
Yes and no. You probably have very different clientele on different platforms, though. Like typically it's people under 45 that are on Instagram right now. Not 45 and older, it's not as much. So if you posted the same thing on Facebook and Instagram at the same time, you probably wouldn't have as much of an issue as you would if you were posting on like your personal page and your Facebook page, because those are probably the same people. And then Facebook, it's typically right now it's like 40 plus, which is like where they're really engaging still. So it is a little bit different, the different platforms, but like, yeah, if you're posting on Facebook and LinkedIn the exact same article at the exact same time, somebody could be getting an email from that, a notification from that, and then they went on their Instagram and saw you talking about the same thing. It's kind of, yeah, it gets redundant. And then on Instagram, your content is going to change. So this right here, this is a tweet. Well, you can't put a link to a website right in your wording in an Instagram post. So you might actually take highlights out of that and type them in. So you might say, if it's top 5 reasons, you might give them the top 2 and say, go to my link in my bio for the other 3. So you're having to change your posts around so that they work for the platform. Because I can't put the link in the Instagram post. So you got to word things so that it works with the platform that it's on. So, but you can duplicate this so that you're not necessarily having to upload the picture the same time. So this was a tweet. So now I want to put this on the LinkedIn. So all of this stuff is still here. And maybe I just want to add something that's more specific to the people that follow me on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is going to be typically people that are more business oriented or use that as their business news page. Somebody that is, you might not want to put something silly per se on LinkedIn opposed to Facebook. You could be a little bit more playful on Facebook. But you can update your, you can edit your images here. So this image was from Canva. So when you're in a pinch, go search their images and say like sold house. And you find a sold house because the website didn't actually have a picture that linked with it. You can change the shape in the editing tool here so that it fits with where you're posting it to. And I'm going to cancel that. So then from there, you can play with those things. So at the bottom here is where you put post for later. So you can select a time for when you want this to post. So different posts are going to work differently. So you might have put the same 3 posts today, but you might put your Instagram one at 8 o'clock tonight because you know people scroll Instagram when they should be going to bed, right? So you might put your Instagram post later in the day. Is this, yeah, everybody does it, even though you shouldn't. I put my phone in the room. I got away with not doing it for about a month, and then it slowly kept creeping its way back into my room. So it happens. But if that's how it is, work with it. Post certain things at that time of day that people are going to want to learn from. So that's when people go on their Instagram to catch up, is later in the evening. Post your stories a little bit later at night, knowing that they're going to be on there for 24 hours, so you might have the opportunity to catch them twice.
Is there a way to tell for each platform, like what are like the peak times, like maybe like different things?
Yeah, I could probably pull some reports and post that on the in the group, because there are different times that are good.
And is it like, does it look bad? Like, let's say if you get up in the middle of the night and you read something interesting, is it bad if you post something at like 3 a.m.? Does it look like really? It's like bananas.
No, it's not bad. I don't know if I would, if it's good content, post it at a time. Like I program stuff to post usually first thing in the morning, because late at night, first thing in the morning, the same thing happens. People lay in their bed for 15 minutes and they play on their phone, they check their emails, things like that. So it's a good, like, they'll see it right away. So it's not everybody is going to check to see the timestamp on it. So it's not the end of the world. I wouldn't care too much, but you can also save those things and then sit down and batch things. Stuff that's relevant at the time though, if it feels important, like it's news, like legit, then post it right away because it's going to get old. Like if it's like this is important now, it's going to get old. So as soon as you wait too long, it's like, oh, that article that was really good. Well, half of the things in it were like deadlines for submission of these loan applications or something. Like if then it's too little too late. And then somebody's going to not trust you because you didn't, they might think, well, did he even read this? So you got to make sure that you're kind of on point with when you're reposting things.
It's like the lost child one located.
Yeah. Oh, those drive me back. I always check. I'm like, oh, where did this come from? So again, there is a library for media, so you can find things in here. So there's free images, and then there's ones that you would be paying for. So there's that. Close this library. And then you can, once you've picked your audience, you might get more information. So with Instagram, you can add a location. So if you're at the South office, no worries. At the South office, you might add the location in. But discard post. So then you can kind of see what your whole week looks like. Things to be careful when you are posting. So we're going to duplicate this post. If you want to post this later and you click post now by accident, you might actually want to go in there and delete it off of that specific platform. You can't delete it from Hootsuite. You have to go to Twitter, delete it, and then go back. You also can save them as drafts, post and reuse, and post and duplicate. So you can do all of these things right from here. Questions so far? No?
So do you basically post everything from Hootsuite for the most part?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. Personally, as somebody that manages multiple accounts, I do.
Yeah.
When I have clients, some clients are specific. So, for example, you get better engagement when you post directly on Facebook. So Facebook has a scheduling software. So if you post and you take a video, it's not from YouTube, it's saved onto your computer, and you put it onto Facebook, and then you schedule that post, you'll have great engagement. You'll have the analytics will push things up because you've embedded that video right onto Facebook. If you use a YouTube video, it's not going to be as good. They don't like YouTube. They're not owned by the same people. But if I put the video in here and pushed it, it wouldn't have the same traction. Because Facebook gives more value to you using their tools than using outside tools.
So like if it wasn't video though, but like just like a news article, that doesn't make a difference or doesn't make
anything. So they give more value to you sharing and using their tools, their scheduling software, their all of their stuff before the outside stuff. So it might just be this far apart, but it could be this far apart when it comes to the reach that you're getting. And you could test that out by putting the same posts or similar posts at the same time, pushing one from one place and checking the other. At the end of the day, you can check your analytics and see what's working for you. Is it your content? Is it the time of day that you're posting? There's a lot of variables into what's going to work when. But the big things to remember are consistency. So if people check out your stuff and you're different colors, for example, one day, and they don't even know, like they're not going to catch your eye. So if you want to make sure that things are consistent, like Remax River City, it's bright red and blue. So when it goes through a feed, people might notice it. Like the welcome posts and things like that, they have a very distinct look. They're always the same. So if you as a realtor, when you post a new house, you have a templated thing and you post it right directly to Facebook, it would have lots of engagement because people are like, oh, I want to see what new house that they have up this week. So there's a lot of cogs in the whole process. But I would say personally, if I was doing it for myself, I would post LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter here,
Oh.
and I would do Facebook separately.
Oh,
If you're just trying to consolidate everything so it gets done though,
Yeah.
use it in Hootsuite. Everything's there and it keeps things consistent and you're posting. Because if it means posting and not posting, do it all in one place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's I'm gonna pop back to this for a quick second because I wanted to show you something. There's Design School here, which has tons and tons and tons of really good videos. So if you're looking for something specific that is like, I want to know how to do, be more creative, upload a logo, download a logo, videos, most of them aren't very long, so they're direct and to the point. So I would recommend those. I think, what's our time at? Okay. I don't like the way this works. So quickly, you have analytics here. You can go back and review and see how things have performed. And you can click them and see the overall, okay, come on. So you can see what the engagement was like on certain platforms. So some platforms are gonna perform better than others. What was the tweets? Maybe you need to work on your content. The publisher also gives you, like on the side here is where all your different accounts are. And then you can have assignments. So for example, if you're on a team, you all might use one account, but you might assign things to different people. So that's a tool that it has. Then there's more apps, and then there's Amplify. So Amplify is another third-party software that is partnered. So Amplify links in. So Remix hasn't done anything with them yet, so as far as I know. So you don't really need to worry about that one when you see it. And then different tool.
With Amplify is the design, kind of like a Canva.
Well, so I have Amplify with another business I have, and the larger overseeing body supplies the content. So literally it's like, I just am reusing it. So it would be like if you having Remax take all of their videos and all of their stock footage and putting it in one spot, but having somebody already write the content for it, which is handy. But it doesn't look like they've done anything like that yet. And so those are the few other things. Does anyone, so this is the kind of thing that might need one-on-one help setting up if this is not, if you're not sure about how to set it up. I found that just giving myself an hour the first time I used it was enough to just kind of be like, okay, this is how you link this, okay, this is how you link that, and then everything kind of got linked, and then I played around with it a little bit, okay, got my stream set up. You don't need those though. Like if you just want to use it so that you're getting everything posted, focus first on this page so that you're getting your content out and so that there's something there every day. Okay, so WordSwag is, again, basically it's a quick app you can use from your phone. It's good for things like, it's $3.99, a one-time fee. So it's a nice little app if people are doing things like these like lovey-dovey quotes, or if you just want to say like open house today and you just want a nice photo, or maybe you have stock photos and you just want words. So again, with like some of the other ones, this one is specifically for mobile. So it's better to do on the hen day. I would use this. I didn't say that. At the bottom here are your different platforms. So a square, it says story, and it gives you the different sizes that you need. So the picture will change, the framing will change when you're deciding what you're doing. So you'll click through it. You can take a picture right then. It'll upload to the app. You can choose from your own personal library, or you can use their stock footage. So this was something in their stock. I've used this for things like quotes. It's like always used for quotes. It has really nice typefaces and fun fonts and things like that. And then you can toggle through this, 1, 2, 3. So you like this, but oh, I want it to be a little taller, a little shorter. So its limitations are things like you can't stretch it. It's a little bit more like quick and dirty. Like, okay, I want to make a post. I want it to say, work hard, play hard. And then you put it there. You find the cute text you want. Okay, done, save. It's not necessarily like creating this like, okay, I'm going to make this text wider apart. You can't do things like that in this one. But you have text and type templates that are really nice. So for $3.99, a one-time fee, it's a really, really good one.
I'm pretty sure you have to pay for more photos. I have it. It's like a monthly.
If you wanted more photos?
Yeah, because we don't have very many.
No.
And then you can also get like free quotes and stuff too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've only ever paid for the one-time thing, and because I think like I only use a few. I thought it didn't even update because I don't think I've ever even been asked for it to get more pictures, but that's good to know, probably because they like to make more money. So when you're done, so this is what your final picture looks like. You can share it directly to these places, or you can it'll say add your logo. So you're actually going to end up saving it twice. You can save your logo in there and then put your logo in the corner at the top if you wanted to do that. They have added animations, so it's a pretty good software. Like for me, I've only ever used it the one time, or like paid the one-time fee, but.
So is it pretty easy?
Oh yeah, it's like hands down. Would you say it's like the easiest? Yeah. Like if you just want things to look pretty and you have your own photos too. Like if you were at a house and you stood in front of the house, took the picture, and then you wrote open house in their nice writing, it would look really pretty. Like they have fancy writing, and then you could add your logo to the bottom of it. So it's a good one that's just super basic because it doesn't let you be too creative, I guess is
Good one to start.
Yeah. So Boomerang, I'm sure lots of you have seen these little like shaky, these quick little videos. Video is, like I said earlier, super important. Boomerang's a nice little app to mix things up in your stories. So you might have, for example, you're doing an open house, you might take a little boomerang of pouring water into glasses and then say, come have a glass of water with me at the open house today. Like you might just have something silly like that to kind of break things up. But when you're doing Insta stories, you want to create a story. So you say, oh, come to my open house. Then the next frame is have a glass of water with me, or bubbles, like bubbly water or something like that. And you do a little boomerang. You can add these in Insta stories. You could add a Remax thing. And this was from the party from Fringe. So you can do that right in your Insta stories. You can click Boomerang. And so then you're not even having to leave Instagram, but you can use the app Boomerang by itself and save them so that you have them. If you didn't like it, it's easier to delete it back and forth. So it is like one button. You click the picture just like a video, and it's stop and start.
I have a question on Boomerang.
Yes.
Can you do something with existing video, or do you just have to create the video that you want as a Boomerang?
Yeah. And that's where lots of times you'll see people doing things like, and you'll watch them do it 12 times because they're trying to get their boomerang proper. Like, yeah. So this is a cool one. I wasn't familiar with this until I came on board here, and I think it's pretty neat. I was familiar with Slidely, but they really have changed since I last used it. If you want to create content like videos and things, and you just want it to be super easy because you want to create stuff that's fresh, that has your own branding on it, this is neat because you can add in your own videos or you can use theirs. So the pricing is pretty high, I would say, for a software, but if you're using it a lot, you're going to get a lot of value out of that by not paying somebody to do like $39 a month. You get, I think it was 100 videos maybe that you could do up to, and then they look like this. Okay. I don't know if I bought volume. There's little music. That's all it is behind this. Just little music. It's like do 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 do. So 15-second video. You could do tons of those. They're templated. So let's switch this. So there's lots of different templates to okay.
This video, and it'll just keep going back and forth.
Oh, okay. Oh, that doesn't look straight.
So you can build these out. So if you wanted to put something like new home. Okay. Okay, it doesn't like me. So I'm just going to customize this one. Maybe it'll look better. So when you go to customize,
You know if that free trial is 5 per month for free or just the first 5 you get?
I think it's your first 5.
And is that with sign up or just to try it? That's probably got to throw your credit card in.
This one, there was, of all of them, the only one that I didn't have to put my credit card, well, John had this already done up. So probably you would. Most of the time you do. So in these, you can change the wording. You can move things to where you want them. Change the type. You can put your logo in the bottom. You can move things to go faster or slower, where you want your type. So as for video, this is a pretty cool one because you can make things longer. You can make things shorter. Paying for stock footage can be really pricey. So it's a neat way to, it's a really good way to change things. So you can, they have a good selection of type. So you can change what the type looks like so it looks like yours. And then on the different frames, everybody's probably on the internet. That's probably why it's so slow. So then it has, like, this is the end, so the outro. So then you can say, have your logo there, and it has, you can change the features. You have media, so you could add in different media. It's a pretty cool one. I've made a few videos with it. You can change the music, and most of the videos are short. Like, they're only a few seconds long, 15 seconds, a minute. And you can add in your own footage. So this is a great place. Like, if you paid somebody to do the drone shots, well, drone shots keep in a stock footage file, because you might do a drone shot of the fall in Edmonton. This is a good one to, if you're going to pay somebody to do a drone shot, fall in Edmonton's beautiful. Do something like that and you have 6 minutes of it. Well, you can do little snippets here and there, put that in this video, put something else in another video, and then you can utilize. And the same thing, like if you paid a videographer to do a home, well, if you ask the person, as long as you don't have the address posted, you can use that footage again and again and again, right? So repurposing it, you're saving yourself a lot of money. So I would highly recommend doing things like that. Like if in your budget for the year, you say, I'm going to hire a videographer 5 times, well, then you could also spend the $39 a month to make 100 videos. So it could be really worthwhile. I was gonna just quickly think. So this is the breakdown of things again. So everything is typically in US dollars. WordSwag is an app, so from the App Store. So that one was probably $3.99 Canadian, is what I saw, but it could be American. But always consider these things, like that is a big difference. That's to this morning's exchange rate. So they can cost you a lot of money. You could be spending that every month and having to do the work, right? So sometimes it's this amount and then you don't get it done and then you're wasting that money. So do you spend more and have somebody do it and do a good job? Things like that. So
it's a good way to store your content sources. So like you're not always coming up and creating everything you're posting. So if you have certain websites or certain people to follow, or like how do you keep organized your sources? Like, hey, I want to post something today. I need to be inspired. Where do you go? And how do you track that?
So a couple different things. I try not to get inspired that day. I do a bad job. I find the days that I'm like,
that's every day.
Yeah, being on a whim. So time block to do social media and get a good chunk done at once. And even if it's doing this, like doing your draft, like, oh, I'm going to do something this, look at so-and-so's blog. That's all you write in it. She might have had new things in 2 weeks.
Okay, so
then the blogs.
Where do you put that? Who's so-and-so's blog?
So so-and-so's blog. So
you got favorites.
Yeah.
Some
So
people come up with these really neat things, and you're like, where did they find this information?
Somebody who's a creator of it.
yeah,
I know, but like,
If you're not creative, you just want to rip off somebody else's stuff and then
Yeah.
make it
Totally.
your own.
so couple things. Use your folders and your tabs on your bar here and save things there. So there's lots of different stuff. So this is a lot of these are stuff that, because I'm linked up to the office. So this is tools and things like that. So I have my own in my bookmarks, and this is actually how because I'm a very visual person, I use Pinterest for bookmarking. Because then I'm like, oh yeah, her blog was cool. So I'll save things like that. I also am very much a paper person. I still print things. Realtors, I think you all do too, sometimes. So I have a list of all and I'll give this out when we meet up, is like I have a list of important dates. Like on Sunday, it was Businesswoman Day. Well, it's a day, but there's every day is a day. And sometimes you just need content, but not all of them are going to resonate you. Dog Day might resonate with you, but Cat Day might not, right? So you might get really excited and post about, oh, it's Dog Day, love your dog day. But your friend, somebody over here might post about Cat Day. They don't post about Dog Day. So when you know all those days, when you start to plan, so I have a list of that. I have a list of days that helps me get inspired. I have a list of triggers. So again, at this workshop I want to do, I can give you a list of kind of triggers. So things like get inspired. So that might be the theme of the day is get inspired, but for get inspired for buying a new home, you might show before and afters. So you might say, which do you like better? That might be the content of the day. So what do you like better? This house or this house? This house or this house? And so you might do that 3 or 4 times in one day, and then people are engaging with it. And then the last frame is it time to move? Because now they've just seen these houses like, oh, this house to that house. The only difference in them might be this one looks a little bit run down and this one's a sunnier day picture, right? Like it's just showing that much, like a little bit of happier. Then there's saying like, so those things you can Google. I'm compiling a bit of content for realtors specific. So at the some of the upcoming ones. And if you're stuck like and need a brainstorming day, maybe that's something that we do. Having a brainstorming like, hey, let's have a brainstorming content day, because one, trying to come up with stuff on your own by yourself in your home, you guys, it can be very isolating. And social media is about being social and getting people excited about something and connecting. So when you're at home by yourself, it can be really hard. I actually find I do a lot of good creative work when I'm at a coffee shop, because then I see people and I'm like, oh, that's a cool bag. Oh, maybe I should do a blog post on bags, like or whatever it might be. But then you get kind of a little bit inspired of. But so I store things on Pinterest. Yeah, I have hard copy lists of certain things that are important that are evergreen. So like those special days they don't change. I have it on my bulletin board. Things like, again, the post ideas, lots of different people. And then this is a tip, pro tip. So many people are giving away free content on Instagram where it says, sign up for my newsletter. Get this free blah, blah, blah. Get this free 50 tips on this. Totally sign it up. I have a whole email address that is just for junk like that I go to, and I sign up, and I don't care if I get 50 emails from them, because the only reason I go there is to get the one thing that I want to download.
And then, so when you're posting stuff like that, should it be like kind of stuff showing like your interest so they kind of get to know you as a person, or should it be kind of more general kind of thing that like the community might be interested in?
So it's a little bit tricky. So for the most part, social media, from a business perspective, is about educating. So you are a business, each of you are a business. So you need to educate on your product, which is the market, which is buying homes. But if you just posted every home that you had, buy my shit, people are gonna be like, yeah, no thanks. So you have to be buy my shit 20% of the time, educate 80% of the time. So you're educating them on trends in design 2019. So you're posting blogs like that. You're posting things like about yourself. Why are you special? Why should you work with a team, or you should work with somebody on their own? Like for some people, they might not, the idea of working with a team sounds like, oh, well, I don't want a different person every time, but that's not the case necessarily. But you're always going to get served in the same way maybe. And so you have if you could explain your customer process, like, oh, every time we meet with a new client, the whole team's there. Maybe not, okay. But the whole team's there. We introduce you, and so everybody can help you out, blah, blah, blah. Like, you tell your story, and then Lori might have more posts about, like, tips on country living, acreages, like, what your demographic is. If you're what's his name? The condo guy? Jackie. He's a condo guy. So his content is going to be condo specific. That's not the case for most realtors, right? Like, you're going to be a little bit of condos, a little bit of houses. So you're giving information to help educate, but then you're posting about your listings. The thing is you got to be careful, because you're selling a product that's going to expire in 3 months and things like that. So it's connecting with them. So if somebody likes your post, maybe you say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Like, you got to keep watching those things, especially because you're the business. And if they comment like, oh, that's a beautiful, or I never knew that about mortgages, you're like, this is bullshit, hey?
I'm like, this is so much work.
Yeah. Well, and it can be as much work or as little work as you want it to be.
Yeah.
And using tools like Hootsuite can be really helpful, but I'm a huge fan of time blocking. Being creative, sometimes you have to just force yourself to be creative. Like otherwise, like when, yeah, otherwise you're gonna want to clean your kitchen, right? Like, oh, I'll just don't go clean my kitchen. There's a reason why people have offices here, right? Or you can stay focused when you come to work at the same time every day, when the same time every day is 9, 11, 2 in the afternoon, like, because it's easy, it's just easy as a sole entrepreneur to do that. So time blocking can be so important because otherwise it just doesn't get done, because this isn't as important as taking somebody to show a house, right?
How far in advance can you book on Hootsuite? Can you do the year? Like,
You can do tons. Like I post, like the one post that was there currently, like I've been posting on the fly a little bit the last week because lots of people have been meeting with me. It's been wonderful. I'm happy to help everybody. I have posts on the Rank My Agents till the end of October. So I did that. I batched that because I was like, oh my God, I gotta go clip their picture, do this thing, write a content, make sure I link their name properly. So it took me an hour, but I did from August to October in like an hour.
but you could do every holiday.
Yeah.
For the year, have them kind of already.
Yeah.
If you want to tweak it or change it, at least you've got something there.
Yeah.
That's going to go out, so you won't miss it if you get busy or distracted by something. But if you want to tweak it a couple days before, you can.
Yeah.
You know,
And you can
change
adjust it. And then if you know things like, if you have, the thing about having a plan is like every day you want to do podcasts. So you want to promote a podcast. So like if you're a podcast lover, you guys are in the car, you probably do. Some people listen to lots of podcasts. So maybe you have like Armchair Experts, a fun podcast. It's kind of different. It's cheeky. Maybe you write like one day you're like, this is a fun, silly one. There might be some swears, everybody, da 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 da. But then you say like, oh, this is a Tom Ferry one. So this is going to connect you with other realtors because they're also your client, right? Like you want them to send you business. So you might say like, and you might even tag somebody like, hey, we were talking about this post, and you might tag them. So like it's tricky when you have multiple customers, but it's how much energy you're going to spend on other realtors. Not as much as you're going to, like little, maybe 1%, but you might even have a whole different kind of way to connect with them. But having like brainstorming sessions is a fun way to do things. It's a good way to get content rolling. But I highly, highly recommend have it literally just print off a calendar and put tip, tip, tip. Feature listing, feature listing, feature listing. What else? About me, about me, about me. So then you're highlighting yourself. You're putting your tip of the day. Make sure you get a home inspection. Do you need a home inspector? We have 5 of them. Like that's really blunt, but you could also say 5 reasons why not getting a home inspection can lose you money. So like it depends. Like and then you Google home inspection Alberta, and then you pull from their blogs. You don't write a blog about it. So, but if you literally just spent 5 minutes and just like quickly did that, even if that's all you did, you get to your computer and you say, okay, today's Wednesday, it says tip, home inspection. Well, now you at least know where to go. You're not kind of like chasing your tail or running down a rabbit hole with no idea. Or you're sitting there frustrated because you're thinking about the pending offer and you're like, why haven't they gotten back to me? And you just need to do this because you time blocked it. Just because it's there, it's telling you what to do. Any other questions? Was this helpful?
Yeah, very,
Thank you.
very.
Okay.
What should the person expect to pay to hire somebody to?
So here, minimum like $400 probably can go upwards of $1,000. $1,000 is going to get you a lot more content, a lot more posting, multiple different platforms. $400 would get you like, I want you to do something that's like, I'll post my on the fly stuff, like my listings, but it's keeping things consistent. So things like Chris Broadhurst, like he didn't have templates for anything, so I made templates. I created that for him. It really depends. Like and I found that like I use those as like really general numbers because every realtor is different. That's the thing that I've learned working here is that having one set way, it just doesn't work. So for some people, yep, they just want me to do everything, stay out of their hair, go to their website, figure it out. Other people, they want you to, like, they'll send you stuff like, here, I like this, like John, for instance. John sends me articles, which is great. I love it because then I'm like, okay, sweet, that's a good one. Post it. Like so you might be a mix of in between. So I might send you an email once every week or 2 weeks and say, do you have any new listings? Do you have any articles or any events coming up that are special that you want to feature? And then from there, we create a content calendar that you approve and kind of go from there.
So like 400 to 1,000 a month, is that?
Yeah, it could be even more than that, depending on how much you want. Like if I'm doing lots of graphic design, it's going to be a lot more. If I'm doing just like basics, like we build a template, we throw photos into it. We've done like, Lori's doing a photo shoot tomorrow, Chris did a photo shoot. That gives me content. We pay for that one time. That content's going to last for months and is probably evergreen. Like Chris signing a paper, that's signed a deal today, post it. Like some of the things I asked Lori, I said, okay, well, wear stuff that's like neutral, so then it doesn't really matter. Like when we're in a house, it's in a house. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. So things like that. Having stock footage, it can be a little like, I charge about $1,500 normally, but it can range from $1,000 to about $1,500. I bring out a professional photographer. She's got like 10,000 Instagram followers. She's a fabulous photographer. She's the one I work with the most. And she just like, she knows what she's doing. She takes great photos and detail shots, house shots. So another person to look at their Instagram maybe might be like Christy Cantera, like they're looking at another team. They do really staged shoots, sitting on a countertop, doing this. Like that might not be who you are, but having that done, even if you're doing this yourself. So like if you said, Sarah, all I want you to do is like manage a shoot, make sure I get pictures so that I can just have stuff. That's a huge benefit to you guys because then you're not like, selfie, oh, another selfie, me and a client selfie. Like it looks a little bit more clean, looks together. And as bad as it is to use this word, but like you gotta compare it to other people. If somebody looks up Jaeger real estate, Jaeger realtor, they're gonna look at what appeals to them. So if the feed is like hodgepodge or there's no feed, like if you don't have that there, that might not be your client. So that might not be your client though. So that's okay. Just so you guys know, not everybody's your client. And if you don't use Instagram and you don't like Instagram, don't do it. So I'm having a meeting at noon till like 12:30, but if anybody else wants to talk, I can stay here till 1:30. You're welcome. Yeah, sure. You're welcome. Okay, now and meeting. Oh my goodness.